Algoriters, I got something to tell you. Okay, how about last night I got really emotional because we're becoming a family here. I'm getting so used to seeing everyone. I feel like I'm a part of a family, and I guess that's one of the pluses of doing a show on YouTube. So, welcome back, Protecting My Peace 44. Thank you guys for making me feel this way. Pisces Unicorn, welcome back. Welcome back. SL, welcome back. Venetia Phillips. All right, you're on time, Venetia. I'm taking roll call. Good to see you're back. Deliria Washington, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while. Lathea Robinson Smith, welcome back. Welcome back. Lathea Robinson Smith is from St. Louis. All right, everybody. I think that's everybody right there. Melina NC, welcome back. Welcome back. All right. Sorry we missed you on Tuesday, but work called. I had to do registration. As you know, the universities are going back into session in the next couple of weeks. So I was doing first year and transfer student registration at night. All right, everybody. Tonight's episode is from platinum to probation when fame becomes a legal liability. Order in the court. Actually, scratch that. Court is now in session. Listen, tonight's docket is stacked higher than a DJ Khaled track list. We got 4 celebrities, 4 controversies, and 4 reminders that fame might get you a front row seat in life, but it won't keep you out of the defendant's chair. All right, we've got an alleged assault over a phone call, and the assistant saying it was more hands-on than hands-free. We got a Hollywood darling accused of lifting someone's script. Can you believe that? Without credit. A viral rapper is caught in a dangerous swatting stunt. Can't wait to share the video with you guys. And a domestic dispute that turned deadly, with self-defense being put on the table. Everyone's side-eyeing that story. Can't wait to dive deep with the legal beagles about that. Now, listen, this isn't TMZ. This is testimony. This is evidence. This is judgment with a side of culture. Ladies and gentlemen, grab your popcorn or your law books, because in celebrity court, we don't cancel, we cross-examine. Before we call our first case, let's introduce the legal beagles that are going to be helping us break down these cases tonight. First up, we have the lovely civil attorney, Shatan Turner. Shatan Turner, welcome back.
Thanks, Your Honor. Glad to be back from vacation. I heard y'all missed me. Hi, operators.
2 vacations in 30 days. I need that job. Also joining her is author and another civil attorney, Jason Weiss, author of Shit They Didn't Teach You in Law School, both editions. Jason Weiss, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you for having me here, Your Honor, and welcome back, Shatan. I got to do better negotiating my contract because, I need more paid time off. But I guess
me too, and it's my channel.
Yeah, it's your channel. You got to work, Your Honor, and I guess Attorney Turner is the longest tenured one here, so I guess she deserves more time off.
We see who's calling the shots. That's all I know. And last but not least, humorist at law, Sean Carter. Sean Carter, get in here.
Hey, everybody.
All right, I got with me Maker's Mark. It's going to be an interesting night tonight. Court is now in session. All right, everybody. First up, we got Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes, hip-hop legend, hype man of energy, and now he's labeled a defendant. The allegation is he physically assaulted his own assistant. But the question here is why? Now, the assistant says it was all over answering the phone. If that's true, this isn't just a missed call. It's a call to the police. Now, this is what's interesting. This happened back in March. Busta Rhymes' former assistant alleged that during a workday dispute, the rapper became physically aggressive after she picked up a call meant for him. She claims he struck her in the face and threw a bottle, causing injuries. Now, the assistant has filed a civil lawsuit citing battery, emotional distress, and guess what else? Unpaid wages. So he's beating her and not paying her, allegedly. Now, Busta denies the allegations and calls the suit an attempt at a payout. All right, no criminal charges have been filed yet. But this is the question that I want answered. Let's start with Shatan Turner first. Does celebrity status make assistants more vulnerable to mistreatment, or does it make them targets for cash grabs? Let's go to you, Attorney Turner. And how is this going to unfold?
By definition, it doesn't make them more vulnerable, but it appears that practically it does, because I think this is like the fourth case we've talked about in 6 months where a celebrity went after an assistant, a stylist, or somebody upside the head with a phone. So I think the moral of the story is don't use the phone if you're by a celebrity.
Jason, talk to me about this idea of battery, emotional distress, and unpaid wages. Is it being filed civilly because at the time that it happened, they didn't file a police report? Why is it that she's taking the civil route, or he? We don't know if it's a male or female, at least I don't remember.
It's a he, by the way.
It's a he.
Yeah.
Why is he deciding to go the civil route instead of the criminal route?
Civil route puts money in your pocket. The criminal route might put Busta behind bars, might go ahead and put him on probation, might do any of that, but it does not compensate Mr. Gables, who is claiming that he was harmed. So how do you make somebody whole when they're harmed? You give them lots of money. At least that's what people think, right? So if you were harmed, if you were hit, if you have medical bills, you have expenses, you have time off of work. Plus, there's also, he's saying that he was blacklisted in the hip hop community, so he can no longer get a job or a similar job in the area that he works. That means he was financially damaged and hence has a claim for civil damages. Usually the criminal route is if you want to put somebody in jail, and it's also sometimes for pressure with regard to the civil. But Mr. Gables, he wants money in his pocket, went the civil route.
Sean Gardner, what are your thoughts about this? And what do you know about the details surrounding this case that maybe you want to share with the algoriters?
Right. So let's go back. The incident happened, like you said, earlier this year. He originally, and I know why you're confused, by the way, about the plaintiff here.
The main stage, please.
The assistant's name, by the way, goes by Divine. So I understand why you thought that was a woman. He can work out some stuff there. He can work some things out, but he got time now because he can't get a job. But the thing was is that he answered Busta's phone and Busta, right, and went nuts. He originally went to the police, and the police said, "Yeah, get in line. This is New York. Everybody punted somebody up in here." And he is certainly right now going through the procedure of a third-degree assault in New York. Now, just so you understand how serious that is, all right? Second-degree assault is if you tear the tag off the mattress. And fourth degree is if you don't wait the full half hour to get in the pool. So nobody's going to prison for third-degree assault, all right? New York, that's a love tap. Busta does not worry about that. So he says, hey, I got to get something from him. I'm going to take him to civil court. The thing the allegations he has here, in addition to being punched in the face, which is worth some money, is the fact that he's saying Busta wasn't paying me like he was supposed to. He was an employee. I was working overtime, being on call, not answering his phone. All right. And he was not paying me overtime. But he says that he didn't even get a pay stub. You get a pay stub. Says, I worked this many hours. This much went for FICA. Busta was just handing him money, right? He's like, I don't even have a record of my hours and stuff. And in New York, they're very serious about this. If you don't pay people the right way, then you actually owe them double the money for not doing it right. So, Busta definitely got to get an accountant and an anger manager, because someone, JP Mills here, said in the comments, this is important, this is not the first time that he has punched an assistant over money. 2006, he got arrested for beating up a former employee over unpaid wages. 2007, he allegedly attacked his driver because the driver said he wasn't getting paid.
Dang!
And so, Busta, when you put them all in check, write the check. But you don't put nobody in check because you being stingy on the checks.
That's crazy. All right, SL said, did he look at that picture? Jeanette Hunter said, these celebrities need to stop settling. Jeanette, what you mean by that? And Mary says, finally caught alive. I love this show. Thank you so much. We're glad you enjoy it. Christine Art, welcome back. What is up with these rappers putting hands on women? It's disgusting. We found out it's a man. JP Mills says, if I'm not mistaken, it's not the first time. You're right, JP Mills. All right, then let's go to the chat. Everybody in the chat, it's time for that poll. Is putting hands on an employee ever justifiable? That's the question. Is putting hands on an employee ever justifiable? Put yes, some situations warrant it, or no, violent is never the answer. All right. It's so funny. I'm missing it.
Because violence can't ever be the answer at work. That option. Nobody's getting paid enough to get hit upside the head.
I know. It's putting hands on employees ever
right. Unless you're training Mike Tyson or Evander Holyfield.
Well,
you didn't sign up to get hit.
I do have to say this now. As a celebrity assistant, it's a little bit different because you're constantly in their space all the time, around them and everything. And just the stress of being in the public eye, I can see where it could get volatile. And you do sometimes want to put hands on your help. I got it. I want to strangle the hell out of mine. Let me tell you something. I've kicked chairs. I pushed stuff over. I have gotten close. Never physically harming them, but I have gotten very, very upset. And it's a different level of upset than, if you're working at an establishment, because the person is managing your personal life. And so I do get it. All right. Let's go.
Good thing your bailiff is virtual, Your Honor.
All right. Is putting hands on an employee ever justifiable? Jump down.
No.
Yes. Some
never.
No, violence is never the answer. All right. Let's keep it moving. Issa Rae. Oh, no, not Issa Rae. Issa Rae, writer, actress, producer in Hollywood's what many label golden child. But now she's accused of doing something every creative fears, and that's stealing someone else's work. The plaintiff says Issa lifted their script one of them days without credit. Oh my God. Issa Rae, I hope this is not true. In Hollywood, that's not just messy. That's a career ending if proven true. Now, the independent writer Tamara D. Brown filed suit against Issa Rae, as well as HBO and Warner Brothers, alleging that Rae's hit series, Insecure, copied substantial plot points, character arcs, and dialogue from her unproduced script, One of Them Days, which she claims was submitted through industry channels years earlier. Now, Rae's team denies wrongdoing, calling it baseless and asserting that Insecure, the #1 show, was independently developed. Can't wait to hear what the legal beagles have to say about this term that she used, independently developed, meaning she didn't develop it, allegedly. The case could hinge on whether Brown can prove Rae had access to and directly used her material. All right, let's go back to you, Attorney Turner. Are NDAs and copyright registrations enough in today's industry, or are ideas still fair game for the powerful?
So this is a very interesting case. So, right, the copyright infringement claim is talking about the unauthorized use of copyrighted material. And the movie and the script that these writers are complaining about have very close names. Issa Rae is a very prolific creator, though. And the thing is that ideas can come to multiple people. I think that the movie and the script, that copyright issue is a little bit harder to prove than, say, for a song where you can listen to it and hear the hook. Like in this case, the question is, was this story so unique that the only inspiration Issa Rae could have gotten from it was by watching or reading these other people's script? Or is it a common enough tale? I mean, I think there's only like 5 basic themes for movies anyway. She picked one of them, and are there enough similarities to prove that, she infringed on their copyright? What they're saying is that the characters, the arc of the story, and the plot itself. And so they're pointing to a lot of similarities, but Issa Rae, you know, I didn't watch Mature all the time or Insecure all the time, but like she's my girl. The fact that she was discovered on YouTube and we're on YouTube and she got uber famous and we're about to become uber famous, I've always felt like we were kind of related.
All right, let's go to you, Attorney Carter, because you know, Insecure was very specific stories with intricate details. If anybody watched it, and it was good. It was like a cliffhanger. I mean, some of it was, I guess you would consider a lot of people's journey in that age, but a lot of the stories were very unique. What are your thoughts on this, Attorney Carter? And do you think that Tamara has a claim here?
Yeah, and so just so we're clear here, they're not saying that Issa stole Insecure from him. Issa put out a movie last year, a couple years ago, called One of Those Days. They had sent a script, and they had copyrighted and written a script called One of Those Days. And they sent it out to a number of people, including a guy named Xavier Charles. Now, Xavier Charles has a working relationship with Issa Rae. And so what they're saying is he must have passed it on to her, and they went. Now, here's what they did. I think was they're serious about this lawsuit. They got. I tried to find out the lawyer so I could hire him because this lawyer went out and said not only, all right, because like Attorney Turner said, who knows who came up with the idea for a Christmas story? But they're saying there are 29 specific things in this movie that are very, very identical to us, except for the fact it seems like Issa blacked it up a little bit. They called it One of Those Days. He called it One of Them Days. So you know what it's like, and we'll all get this. It's like in Coming to America, where McDowell's and McDonald's, and they're saying basically Issa Rae McDowell their story. All right, and made it, but it's still the Golden Arcs. It's still the same thing, and so they actually, you know, and they went out and hired a veteran screenwriter named John Bricado, who went through the script and said, "Oh yeah, this part's stolen, that part's stolen," and the reason why this guy might know is he's the guy who stole Terminator.
Dang.
I don't know if you know, but he was screenwriter for Terminator 3 and 4, and Terminator actually had to pay some money for somebody because that woman said they stole her story. So he know about stealing stuff. He's saying, yeah, I know how to steal it, and this is stolen. And so, you know, they're going to bring the case to court, going to go a long way. I looked up the money here. The movie made $51 million on a budget of $14 million from the studio, and that's not including streaming. So there's money to be had here, and everybody going to want to get their chunk of it.
Let's go to you, Attorney Weiss, real quick, because my question here is it possible, because this is somebody that Issa was working with, that she trusted, that he got this script or idea from somebody else who sent it to him, and he just passed it along to her and she loved it and developed it? Is that possible?
Sure, that's possible, but that's not going to help her. You know, there's like no BFP, bona fide purchaser defense here. If you use something that's copyrightable, the amount of the penalty and the amount of the damages depends on if it was intentional or if it was accidental. But either way, you don't get away free.
Okay, got
it. Penalty can be lesser if it's incidental. Like I went on the internet and I hit Google and I was looking for a script and this popped up and I used it as my own. You know, I didn't know somebody else owned it. That's going to be unintentional, as opposed to give me a script that someone wrote that I can make billions of dollars off of and steal, and it comes up. That's intentional. So the level of damages is going to be different. And also, look, when you are a film writer or a TV writer or any type of writer, you should register your work in two places. Number one, copyright office. It's like $45 to $65. You get your copyright. It's there. You got your protection. And the other way is that you can also do it as part of the Screen Actors Guild or the Writers Guild, and you will also get protection, but that's not going to allow you to sue for money or damages. So look, write your script, copyright it, have them sign an NDA, and if someone wants to steal it because it's that good and it makes a lot of money, you need to get your piece.
Shatara, let me ask you this really quickly, since you're a huge fan of Issa Rae. If she's found guilty of this, Do you think this will have any effect on her, her her I guess PR, her reputation, or do you think the public will probably forgive her for borrowing this?
Well, I think that the ramifications on her as a writer, is something that she's going to have to really work hard against. Her celebrity has transcended just her as a writer because she also has an on-air personality as well. And so her as an actor, is probably fine, but since she's often in her own content, right, and scripts that she created, I think she is going to have to work hard. I mean, if it's found that she stole it, she's going to have to come up with an excuse. What I imagine that excuse is going to be is, hey, this was a collaborative effort, and I did not realize that members of my team, borrowed a storyline from one of those days. To my knowledge, this was independent, and my apologies. And I will donate to the Screenwriters Guild and also gladly settle this because I don't want to inappropriately misappropriate anybody else's work.
Gotcha. Dominic Brooks says she just needs to sit this one out and keep it on the low. She'll bounce back. We always move on to the next thing. All right, with that in mind, let me ask the algorithms and everyone watching, should proven copyright, I just feel like copyright is just such a horrible, despicable thing because there are so many people in Hollywood who are hungry, who go to Hollywood, who develop these scripts, and they really depend on these to feed themselves and their families. So I find this probably as and the top of the food chain of stank and disgusting in Hollywood if you stole somebody's stuff. So here's a question for the algorithms. Should proven copyright theft result in blacklisting in the entertainment industry? Let me repeat that one more time. Should proven copyright theft result in blacklisting in the entertainment industry? And I want people to understand the magnitude of copyright because that's how writers feed themselves the same way actors go and they go to castings, the same way the models go to casting. That's the same way writers do. And if you steal from them, then they don't eat. So let's ask the question one more time. Should proven copyright theft result in blacklisting in the entertainment industry? Hit yes for protect the creators. Vote no. Put no in the chat if punish but don't end careers. Yes to protect the creators. No for punish but don't end the careers. All right, everybody. Now the likes aren't liking here. Please be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, don't forget to hit the share button. As always, turn on your notifications. And as you see tonight, jump down in that chat and keep it coming. We love your comments. Christine R says, maybe not blacklist forever, but put them on suspension for a period of time with fines. I'm not mad at fines. Cecilia Golden said it should be whitelisted, if anything. All right, Miss Monica says, please pray for me. My deceased mother's sibling, Walden Goins, Reed family are suing me August 27 to force me to sell my family's share of land, theft, and trust for over 100 years in North Carolina. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. And Venetia Phillips says, don't they know the consequences of stealing people's work? I think sometimes you can become too big, and once again, you think you're bigger than the law, and they're not going to find out, or someone's not going to trust you. Speaking of not being trusted, DDG, yeah, you know, that rapper, that YouTuber, that father to Halle Bailey's child, well, he was detained after a swatting incident at a paintball tournament. Yes, you heard me correctly. A grown man, a father, was at a paintball tournament. For those who don't know, swatting is when someone makes a false emergency call to bring the police, often SWAT, to your location. It's not a prank. It's a potential death sentence if you're black people holding guns, if you ask me. Now, listen, police in Los Angeles responded to a high-risk armed situation at an event where DDG was competing, only to discover the report was false. Authorities traced the call to DDG's circle, though not necessarily to him directly. Swatting has led to serious injuries, and even deaths in other cases. While no one was harmed here, please put your mics on mute, please. I can hear you. While no one was harmed here, DDG faces possible criminal conspiracy and public endangerment charges if linked. His camp insists he had no involvement and condemns the act. All right, let's start with you, Attorney Carter. Tell us what's going on here. Should swatting be treated like attempted murder given the risks? Or do you think this is just a whole bunch of YouTubers who knew that there were guns involved and who was involved, and they made this call to possibly get more YouTube views?
No, I would imagine that what happened was, and you're right, he's doing an event. There's 20,000 people streaming into this event. One of those people probably doesn't like DDG. I got to tell you, I don't like DDG. All right, so I totally get it. Maybe they were Halle Bailey fans, and one of them called in a SWAT thing. I don't think DDG did this because he's lucky to be alive. All right, when the police come in a swatting situation, they're coming in loaded for bear. We actually have some collateral here that shows how armed they were. And the only thing that really saved DDG is he was between matches when they came in and got him. If he had been out there with the mask on, shooting and running around, we would probably be talking about ex-DDG. All right, one of the D's would be for something else in DDG. So I don't think he did it. And it's a shame, the police, unfortunately, they think they have to take these calls so seriously. There's no law that says they have to go run out. Because to me, if I got a call and you said, hey, the people armed, and you gave me the address and it was a paintball place, I'm not going. Everybody at a paintball place, right? And so the fact that the police show up there, 40 or 50 cars deep to do this, but they, wanted to have their fun for the day. Fortunately, like I said, no one got hurt here. But certainly, this is a crime. I think California has enhanced penalties. You can spend substantial time in prison if you get caught swatting somebody.
All right, so let's throw to the bailiff real quick so that we can see some of this footage. But I want to go back to you, Attorney Weiss, after we finish sharing the footage. Bailiff, please.
Hey, don't get back. Dumbass SWAT call.
We don't know that yet. We're trying to figure it out.
Y'all relax though.
All right, so this is very serious. See, this is my thing though. They said that they traced it back to someone in his camp, Attorney Carter. That's why I'm thinking it couldn't have been someone that was online streaming. It had to be someone that was physically on that site. And Jason, this is the question I have for you. Don't they have sophisticated enough technology now on the 911 centers? They know where it's pinged, which tower it's pinged, and they also on 911s can identify the number in which the call is coming from. That's why they traced it back to his group. Is that French for saying that we actually know who it is? It was somebody in his group. And someone's trying to garner YouTube views.
Look, if that's the case, then the person that made the call is going to be in serious trouble. And whatever the motive for that call is, there is a federal statute on that point. It's 18 USC. I think it's like 1038 or something along those lines that basically say that it's false reporting. You're calling in a false crime. You're calling something in, and there are some serious penalties that come with that. Do they probably know where it came from? I'm sure, right? You can't call 911 from any device and them not have that number in there. I don't care if you hit *67. I don't care. They know where it came from. Even if it was a burner phone, they know where it came from. So they know where it came from, and it's still under police investigation. DDG is right now the person that did not make the call. If DDG instructed someone to make it, he's going to have some trouble. If someone in his camp made it because that's what they wanted for YouTube videos, that person's going to get in trouble. And this is all going to come down to, what did DDG know? Was he involved in this phone call? And if it's nothing and no, he's in the clear, but somebody's going to get in trouble for this one.
Got it. Shatan Venetia Phillips says they're wasting the cops' time doing this dumb shit. And Christine R said DDD. Shatan, let's go and talk about why it's not by happenstance to me that DDG is the one in the front line of this, right? Because I can promise you, if cops showed up and was arresting these people, no one could pick him out of a lineup. Do you understand the question that I'm asking? So what part of this is clout? How do you determine, does clout culture encourage this type of stuff? Like what would you recommend for DDG in this situation?
Well, somebody suggested in the chat that he didn't pay an assistant, and they're the ones who called it in. I mean, I don't know, right? So one motivation could be that they wanted YouTube likes and for SEO perspective because it would go viral. But the other thing is somebody could have wanted him harmed, right? As Attorney Carter pointed out, he's running around with a weapon and with his face covered, as part of the game, and somebody calls in order to bring a SWAT team there, that could have gone sideways quickly. So I don't know that there is, I think he just happened to be the one, because he's not the only one who was detained and had cuffs on. So I don't think his celebrity influenced the reaction. I also don't think he was the only Black person either. So it's not like it was race-based. I think that they took it seriously. And when police don't know what's going on, in order to try to contain or mitigate the risk, they detain people till they can figure it out.
Yeah, I get that. Carter, let me go to you, Attorney Carter. What I'm saying is this made the papers because of him, right? And if you saw that young man in a lineup as a cop, you wouldn't know that that's DDG.
Right.
So I'm saying, is it someone calling and saying DDG is under distress? That's what I'm trying to get at here. Why would the swatting be taken so seriously and it might be that it's DDG?
No, I don't think it had anything to do, as far as at least the police is saying that, oh, it's DDG, I got to go get him. If you call any address and you say at this address there's someone with guns and they're holding children hostage, there gonna be 40 cops outside of that address, no matter who you are, tomorrow.
So that was what the call was?
Yes, that's the call. And I don't think DDG's people did that, because that's a death wish. All right, when that comes, it is not good for you, and no amount of YouTube views is gonna bring you back. All right, so I don't think he did it. A lot of times when you talk about like how you trace this stuff, I did some research on this, and nobody calls that from their own cell phone, right? You got a burner phone. There's some you do that. You switch your ISP. You do some computer thing or whatever. If the person who did this had went through some protection to try to avoid it, so it wasn't someone who was at the place. It could have been someone anywhere in the world who did this. I imagine he has a lot of enemies, like I said, and this is the kind of thing we saw it happen with Nicki Minaj. It's been happened 3 times to her. She didn't do it. People called and said, "Hey, go to Nikki's house. There's something horrible happened there," and basically it's people putting a hit out on you with the police.
All right.
And his video got 250,000 views. That whole incident, 250,000 views.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the jury. Jury, should swatting carry mandatory prison sentences? Yep, that's going to you, algoriters. Answer this in the chat. Should swatting carry mandatory prison sentences? Yes, it's life-threatening, or no, treated case by case. Let me ask the question again. Should swatting carry mandatory prison sentences? Vote yes in the chat. It's life-threatening. Vote no in the chat. Treated case by case. All right, as we rotate into the last topic of the evening, a case of the evening. This one is so sad to me, but very interesting. A rising rapper is dead. Started out as a domestic dispute, but a shooter is claiming self-defense. This is the story of T. Hood. He's the boyfriend of Kelsey Frost, the daughter of Kurt Frost and stepdaughter of Rashida Frost. Was this an act of protection or a crime of passion? Listen, Police responded to a late night domestic disturbance and found T. Hood fatally shot. The shooter, his girlfriend, or we don't know, told authorities that she acted in self-defense during a heated argument in which she feared for her life. Neighbors did report hearing loud shouting before the gunfire. There were no other witnesses inside the home. Prosecutors are weighing whether to accept the self-defense claim or pursue manslaughter charges. All right, let's go to you, Sean Carter. Give us a little bit more context of what's going on here. And this is my question. When is standing your ground protection and when is it an excuse? And is stand your ground in the state of Georgia allowed by the law?
So stand your ground is allowed. And here's the weird part is, it's even allowed if the ground you're standing is somebody else's house. All right, because remember, this, T. Hood was pew-pewed in his own place. But if you attack someone, even in your own house, and the standard is this: if you attack someone in Georgia, that person has a right to defend themselves, even use deadly force,
even if it's in his house,
even if it's in your house, if there is an imminent threat to your life. Now, the real question, and this is all fact dependent, because we got to determine, if you got a gun, how much is that person without a gun a threat to you, right? Certainly if they had a knife, I guess some other weapon, something like that. And so it's really going to be a fact case. But now, as far as standing your ground, let me tell you about the racial element here. It turns out that Black people get to stand their ground against other Black people, all right? And what I mean by that is that self-defense as a defense, right, is available to Black people, provided that the person you kill is Black. Okay.
Oh.
If it's a white person, it's 1% chance, all right, that you're going to get a jury to agree with you. All right. But if it's a Black person, a lot of times they'll say, yeah, he needed to kill him anyway. And so if you're going to do self-defense, they got to look like you.
Damn. Attorney Turner, what are your thoughts on this story? And why is it? Oh, no. First, let's look at this first. Let's throw to the bailiff. Let's look at the collateral that we have that pretty much is debunking allegedly that this was a self-defense case. Bailiff,
I got bigger
please take
fish
it away.
to fry, because why your kids gone missing? I done finally got caught up with this story, Kirk and Rashida, because why your two kids acting suspicious? The story actually begins with T. Hood. He's seen here, and may his soul rest in peace, he has passed away. Now, this is Kirk and Rashida's stepdaughter. She goes by the name of Frosted K. And this is their other child, who goes by K Frost over on Instagram, but his page is no longer here, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, T. Hood's sister had been posting very voraciously in her IG story, accusing Kirk Frost and Rashida Frost's kids of basically setting up her brother. Now, she says in this post, family and friends, guess what? The Gwinnett County Police Department is protecting the Frost family. I talked to the detective, and no updates is what he said. What the F? This is crazy. They picked up Kay for questioning, which is one of the kids, and let him go. He shot, allegedly, T. Hood 7 times as he walked away. Then she goes on further to tag Kay Frost, the girlfriend of her brother, and says, you set up my brother. She had her brothers pew-pew him, allegedly, and say that she didn't know that he had shot him 5 times in the back and stomach and chest. They cleaned it up, hid their brother, because her brother's no longer on social media. And then they go on to say that, and so the police wouldn't find the weapon on him. Now, this is the brother's IG page. She completely just scrubbed it clean and, privated it. Now, she also had posted a video on her page, the sister of T. Hood, and I'm going to post that for you here.
I don't know. They maybe have the wrong information. They tried to find him. They sent.
Now, in the caption of this video, she again tags Kay Frost and says, admitted her brother unalive, T. Hood, and he's allegedly in hiding. Now, they haven't posted the longer version of the video. I'd be really interested in hearing it, and interested in hearing what exactly are the brother and sister saying in regards to this incident. Now, according to the family, they're claiming that T. Hood, as well as his girlfriend, Frosted K, had got into an argument, and she had called her brothers, and then the brother subsequently allegedly shot him. I'm going to keep you guys posted on the story, because I just went down the rabbit hole, and it's very interesting, and I'm curious as to why Kurt and Rashida ain't said nothing, and nobody else has said nothing, but they do have these snippets of her admitting something over the phone, child. But I'll keep y'all posted if any more of this story develops.
All right, I'm gonna throw to you, Attorney Turner. Venetia Phillips says, if you shoot somebody 5 times in the back and 2 times in the chest, is that still self-defense? Net Fournette says, Nettie Fournette says, I thought it was the brother who was claiming self-defense. And then Venetia Phillips also said, this is a sad, unfortunate situation. There's so many layers to this, because what started out with 2 people being alone, we now have another person involved. And if he wasn't there and wasn't involved, why is he scrubbing his IG? And also, why is he being brought in by the police? Attorney Turner, let's throw to you.
Because they don't know what's happened. You know, you pointed out when we were in chambers that we knew there were 2 people there. One is dead. Doesn't that tell us the whole story about who did it? But the police aren't very sure about that, because the person who was present is denying that they were responsible for the death. I think that this needs to be investigated. Given the allegations of prior domestic violence, there's a lot to unpack. It's possible that even if he didn't have a weapon of any type, that she felt threatened to the point where she had to use the gun to defend herself, regardless of the fact that...
Where did the gun come from? Where did the gun come from? Where did the gun come from?
I think she brought the gun.
Why?
I think we have some of the facts here a little confused. And by the way, all of us have the facts confused because it's the damn internet. All right. That
all right,
woman, by the way,
hold on, Sean Carter. Can we please bring Sean Carter on the main stage? Okay, go ahead.
Right. Yeah, we're all a little confused by the facts here. According to Kelsey, all right, the young woman, she said in a statement, I didn't shoot him. I didn't call anyone to shoot him. What is implied there, though, is that she called her brother because he had put his hands on her. The brother comes over to get his sister, and we don't know what happens from there. The thing about him being shot 5 times in the back is something that T. Hood's mother is saying. That is not what the police are saying. The police haven't released any details about the autopsy, and I'm being, kind of, would be word for it, a stickler about this, because I don't know if you've been around the internet, but we make up stuff all the time, right? Every day there's some new story, and we think we have the facts right. I don't know if we have any of these facts right. What seems to have happened is that, from what I can do, all we know is that the brother was called to the house because, and the woman, by the way, police do confirm that Kelsey had visible bruises on her face when they got there. And so the supposition here is that the brother came over and there was some dispute, there was some altercation between them, and he ended up unaliving T. Hood. Whether he was justified in doing so, who knows? I do know that as a big brother, all right, if my sister called me and said so-and-so putting hands on me, I'm going to want to go over there. Now, I don't own a gun. I don't own a gun because I'm not that good of a husband. I got way too much life insurance. I don't do that, all right? But if I went to an Atlanta-based rapper's house, I have to borrow a gun. I ain't going in there with no gun, all right? So I'm not sure exactly whose gun it was, whether he took T. Hood's gun from him, whether he brought his own. But there's a lot that isn't known here. But as far as her being, the shooter, that's not likely. And I think even the T. Hood sister is saying they set him up. That basically she called her brother in to shoot him.
All right, Attorney Wise, what are your thoughts on this case? And whatever happened to old-fashioned going over and just beating his ass? And shoot him in the back and then roll him over and shoot him in his chest? That sounds like some intentional, like I'm getting even type of crap right there. Shooting somebody in the back 5 times does not, in my personal opinion, need you to roll them over and shoot them in the chest 2 times additional. What does that just make you dead?
Domestic
what about if they shot him in the chest twice and then rolled him over and shot him in the back? I mean, just to make sure they're dead. But I mean, look, nobody's been arrested yet. No one. No one's been arrested. The Snellville, Georgia, I think that's Gwinnett County Police Department. They're still investigating this. And I think that the police department and everybody involved is so confused as to what actually happened that they're not ready to pull the trigger, no pun intended, and arrest anybody quite yet. You know, they're looking at self-defense. They're looking at, you know, what could have happened here, and the investigation is ongoing. And I think we're going to get little tidbits of information over the next 6 months, maybe even a year. And, you know, this story will probably disappear and, you know, we won't hear much of it. But again, there's a lot of confusion as to what happened here. And I think they're just trying to, you know, put pieces together.
I think that this isn't going to go away anytime soon. I think that sister of T Hood is going to make sure that she wants accountability taken by someone, and I'm here for it. You don't have the right to kill anyone. I don't care what's going on. You don't have the right to pull out a gun, shoot someone 5 times in the back and 2 times in the chest. Let's go to our algoriters. Algoriters, drop down in the chat. Should domestic disputes involving firearms always be prosecuted, even with self-defense claims? Let me ask that one more time. Should domestic disputes involving firearms always be prosecuted, even with self-defense claims? Put yes in the chat to discourage escalation. Put no in the chat, let the facts decide. Last time, should domestic disputes involving firearms always be protected, even with self-defense claims? Put yes in the chat to discourage escalation, or put no in the chat, let the facts decide. All right, everybody, this is the time of the show where we go back over our cases, our 4 cases, and decide who's guilty and who's not guilty. Be sure to drop down in the chat with your verdict as well. The jury, which are our viewers. First up, Busta Rhymes. Attorneys, guilty or not guilty? Weiss, is Busta Rhymes guilty or guilty of assault?
Based on past, based on what I've seen, Busta's guilty.
All right, Attorney Turner.
He's guilty of poor fashion sense with that jacket. I'm not really sure what he was trying to accomplish. But it seems likely that he's also guilty of hitting his assistant and, you know, acting inappropriately in the workplace.
All right, Carter, what are your words? Guilty, not guilty?
He's guilty of not doing this right. You either not pay him or you punch him in the face. You can't do both. Pick one of the two.
I agree. I'm Al Reynolds and I'm the judge here. Busta Rhymes, you're guilty, man. You're guilty of throwing bottles, punching people in the face, and the worst is not paying them. If you're going to beat me up, if you're going to throw a bottle at me, can you please make sure the check clears? All right, next up, not DDG, Issa Rae. Is Issa Rae guilty or not guilty of stealing that lady's playwright? Attorney Turner, what say you?
I'm going to reserve judgment on Issa. I think that there is some evidence supporting that somebody engaged in copyright infringement, but I'm not sure if it was her. Attorney
Weiss? Attorney Turner said it spot on, so I could be Attorney Turner. I agree with what she said. Something's wrong here. If she's involved, if she did it intentionally, I want to hear more.
All right, Attorney Carter.
You know, I'm really insecure about this one. I'm not so sure. I do want to say that if she did it to the wrong ones, because these people are coming out for bail. They have hired an extra witness before the trial. Right? They're serious about getting their money.
All right, I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. We're going to find Issa Rae guilty as charged. I think it is copyright infringement. The way that this team has come together with all their structured examples, who they hired, this isn't something that they came up with overnight. This is something that they've been dealing with for a long time, and it smells like they even reached out to her to try to resolve this, and they were shoo-shooed away. Miss Issa Rae, you are guilty as charged. Next up, DDG. Is DDG guilty or got guilty for calling in the SWAT for YouTube views? Attorney Turner, what say you?
I say no. I'm leaning towards not guilty. Somebody in his camp did it. It wasn't him.
All right, Attorney Carter.
I think the person guilty here is, as always, Halle Bailey. All right. If she hadn't married this fool, we wouldn't know nothing about him. Nobody'd be thinking about his janky ass. And you know what? She should have just stayed under the seat. All right, said she want to be part of this fool's world, and now we all got to suffer.
I agree. All right, Attorney Rice.
Not guilty.
All right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. We're going to find DDG guilty. Guilty as charged. These YouTubers are going beyond what's safe, beyond what's legal in order to get these views. I don't care if he didn't make the call. I'm convinced that he had someone to make that call. And he better be glad that his ass is still alive. Moving on along, last but not least, T Hood. Oh, this is such a sad situation. Is the young lady, what was her name again? The young lady, Kelsey Frost and her family, as well as Rashida, as well as Kurt, are they guilty or not guilty of covering up or unaliving this gentleman, T Hood? Attorney Weiss, what say you?
I say this story wants me to go eat Frosted Flakes because I kept hearing the word frost and all that, but I'm guilty of having no clue what the heck is going on with this one, and I'm gonna watch with interest because I'm sure we'll be reporting on it again.
I can tell you don't follow Black culture.
There's too many Frosted Flakes in this one. So.
Attorney Turner, what say you?
I can't have you come for Jason like that. Just because he's white doesn't mean he doesn't understand. I don't know who these
I didn't
people
say understand. I said follow.
Oh, I follow 100%.
No, Rashida and Kurt have been in all the platforms now because of the Rashida going to her concert challenge. So that's the reason why I said that. Everyone knows who Rashida and Kurt are.
I don't.
What?
Yeah, I don't.
Guilty.
Yeah.
You are guilty for being non-black. You whitewashed too. Guilty. Attorney Carter, get in here and help us with this.
You know,
and you were on the Vineyard this past weekend. You are guilty for not being black enough. All right, Attorney
I'm going to be at the Vineyard next August. Come on now.
You better get a pass.
Attorney Carter, save me, please. Please save me.
I'll save you. I'll save you, brother. But they don't let me on the Vineyard either. But I got to go to Nantucket with Jason. But that's not the point. The point is that I got to tell you, we don't know what happened here. It definitely. I tell you what the Frost are guilty of, and that is definitely not. They know what happened. All right, they're the only people still alive. All right, they can definitely tell us what happened. They haven't told anybody what happened yet. They had pretty weird cryptic notes. I can tell you what though. I know the person who's happiest now is Kirk. Because for the first time, he ain't the one in trouble. Normally we be talking about him cheating, right? The first time he's like, "Hey, it ain't me." All right, that's your daughter there. That's my daughter.
That's right. I know Kurt's like, praise goodness. All right, I'm Alan. I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court, and I'm going to find somebody in that camp is guilty. Somebody's in that camp is guilty of a cover-up. Somebody's in that camp is guilty. You can't have two people in a room by themselves. One is unalive, and nobody shot him. All right, let's repeat that. You can't have two people in a room. One is unalive, the other one is not, and nobody shot him. Okay, I'm just saying.
He shot himself in the back.
I'm just saying. And five times in the chest. Come on, guys.
Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 5 times.
5 times by himself. Come on, everybody. Y'all get with it. All right, everybody. Tonight's docket wasn't just about celebrity. It was about human behavior under pressure, also in power and in public. From the studio to the set, the live stream to the living room, one truth remains. The law doesn't care about your followers. It cares about your actions. But here's the twist. Celebrity cases are what I call cultural mirrors. They show us how much we excuse. They show us how quickly we condemn. Lord, we'll turn on you in a minute. And how selectively we apply our principles. Now, here's your homework, jury of public opinion. When the next headline drops, ask yourself, am I reacting to the facts or am I reacting to the fame? Ooh, that's such a good question. Am I reacting to the facts or am I reacting to the fame? Because I'm going to tell you, some of this stuff just wouldn't be allowed. Because in celebrity court, the verdict doesn't just belong to the judge, it belongs to you. Court is adjourned, well, until the next scandal hits. All right, everybody, court is adjourned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.